Yes. People, what's going on? It's Eagle Talks Football. We're back again with another big video. And this one is going to be a quick one. It's my boy at Halftime Hooks is in the building. Special guest for today's video. And we got a lot to talk about. So I brought somebody else with me to balance out the conversation. Because when you just hear from one person, you don't hear all the truth. You do hear one side of the story, but I need someone else in the building to give you the other side of the story. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. And bro, where do we begin? Should we begin with the referees? Because this is starting to annoy me. I don't know about you, but aren't you starting to get annoyed by hearing about Lewis-Skelly's red card?
I'm not surprised. Like, I don't really mind too much in it because I'm not surprised. Like, it's just how it goes, isn't it? So it's like I don't really put too much energy into all like any post I see about Gary Neville talking about it or Carragher talking about it or this person talking about. I just ignore it, man. I'll be so real. Like, it has absolutely can't change it. Nothing can be changed. Just people trying to drive up a bit of engagement and clicks off the news on Arsenal. Like, there's not really much else to really say about it, to be fair. Like, bun them all. But
the reason why I mention it is because Arsenal have been charged for surrounding the match official on their match versus Wolves. So not only did they give us a red card, double down on the red card, find out it was a mistake, get it overturned. This seems like retaliation, bro.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's retaliation because we saw Man City didn't get punished for when they all crowded the ref, and I think it was the Arsenal game. So, like, it is what it is. It's from the? Oh, it's from the. It is what it is, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I also just pay the fine, move on, keep it stepping. Is what it is. Like, they was always gonna do this. Like, they don't like to lose. They don't like to get proven wrong. Like, we all know they're arrogant. They can never just come out and say, "Oh, hands up, our bad." You know, they can never do that. So it just is what it is. Pay the fine. We got more than enough money to do that. We just won in the Champions League, so we got to pay extra fees. Pay that off. Keep it moving. Keep it stepping, and bun them all, man. I'll be tagging all of the PGMOL on Twitter when we win the league. So it's all good. That's how I get my league back.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I honestly believe at times that these referees intentionally do things because they have a bias against a certain team. Am I wrong to think that way? Because just look at some of the things that have happened to this season. Red cards for kicking the ball away, controversial red card after controversial red card. You're getting 50-50 challenges being given as penalties. It's just...
I think that, like, you know what it is? Like, it's one of them ones where no one's going to agree with you. You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to agree. Like, the one, like, for me, it's like, cool. I can see that it's a bit booky. So that's enough for me, innit? Like, because still to this day, in over 150 games in English football, I still haven't seen someone get sent off for a second yellow for kicking the ball away and delaying a quick set piece. Like, I still haven't seen it. And the moment that I say that, people go, but we all know that the refs are inconsistent. And I'm like, but it's not a consistency issue. Like, because a consistency issue would be in X game week, we saw the identical thing happen. One got punished and the other didn't get punished. That's inconsistency. Inconsistency isn't, it's happened only to Arsenal twice. And then since the last time it's happened to Arsenal, it's never happened again. That's not an inconsistency issue. Like, that's, maybe you can say incompetency. I think that's the easy cop out, is incompetency. But I feel like a certain ref just doesn't like Arsenal. I feel that. At least I feel that way. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I am wrong, then so be it. But it's something that rivals are never, ever, ever, ever en masse going to agree with you on. So...
Can we agree, though, one thing? These referees are human and they can have they can't have personal issues with other human beings, and
Yeah,
and that can affect their work. As much as we want to say these referees are impartial, the way they have treated Arsenal recently, I beg to differ. And people are then going to say, "Oh, but it's not just Arsenal; it's everybody."
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see certain clubs get treated the same way we get treated. I
No.
don't see certain clubs getting surrounding the referee charges like we get surrounding the referee charges.
Mm.
Uh, Certain things just, to me, come off as, is it just the Arsenal thing, or am I tripping? Like, it makes me question if I'm the one that's overthinking it, or what I'm seeing and what I'm saying are actually happening.
Is it because it? But I understand that because it gets like that because even to give the red card, yeah, against um against Miles Lewis-Skelly for, I think it was for
Serious foul play.
yeah, serious foul play. What, that was the first time in football, yeah, someone received a red card in just outside their penalty box in their first third of the pitch. That's crazy. Do you know? I've been watching football. Yeah, all right. I've been watching football for about 30 years, but to say, if we say like consciously, where I understood all the rules, I've watched it for about
20.
20 years. Yeah, in 20 years of football, with and without VAR, I have never seen that ever, not once. So why was the red given there? That's what I don't understand. Why was the red given there? And then why, when it did go to a VAR, why did why was it then further given as a red? Like, why didn't Darren England go, oh, you know what, Michael, I think you need to just come over to the, you know, we kind of understand why you gave it, but we're a bit unsure. Go over to the camera, have a look at least have a look at it, yeah, in from all different angles. And if you still feel like it stands, then cool. But just check it out because we're not too sure. And I don't. That's what I don't understand. Like, why was it just not given as a yellow? I don't understand that because I guarantee you, 100%, 100%. In the next 5 game weeks, we're gonna see something similar, and a yellow will be given without any fault. So, you know what I mean? This is why I think like it's kind of, in a sense, pointless to talk about. Well, okay. It depends on the room, right? It depends on the room. Like, because if you're talking to a bunch of Arsenal fans, whether they agree with you or not, like they're never gonna like argue with you about it from I guess a negative standpoint because they love the club. Whereas rivals, they don't want the best for Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? They don't want the best for Arsenal. Like, they want my club to fall. So they're always going to talk about it from a weird perspective, and it's just pointless, isn't it? And then the Liverpool fan starts jumping in on the Tottenham fan's point, and then the Man United fan jumps in to bat, and then the Chelsea fan jumps in, and then everybody's linking up and are doing fusion dance and all of that to attack Arsenal. And it's like, well, then there's no point in it.
The worst part about it is, Arsenal are charged by the FA for surrounding a match official after the decision that they were surrounding the match official for has been overturned because they deemed it incorrect. So they are charging us for being upset in game about an incorrect decision. There is zero punishment or accountability to to, what do you call it, Mike Oliver, for getting the mistake wrong. He's being treated like the victim in this situation off the back of posts that they've made about him getting punished, him getting bullied on social media. By the way, nobody knows his social media. His social media is not public to the people. Maybe his family's social media is public, but his social media is definitely not public. So they're saying people's public tweets where they're just speaking about him openly without adding him or sending him direct messages, and they're just speaking about him in third person, is what they're referring to as hate tweets.
Do you know it wasn't even? Do you know it didn't even have anything to do with the Arsenal game? These are tweets. These are tweets or death threats from the Liverpool Man United game.
Who
That
said
happened a
that?
few weeks prior. Like if you like, I saw there was there's a guy. He's a he's a journalist, Oliver Holt. That's his name, Oliver Holt. Search him on Twitter, yeah. And well, I don't know if you'll see the tweets on his page, but he was basically talking about it, and his it got fact checked by the X fact check thing, and it said something along the lines of like it's not to do with the Arsenal stuff. It's to do with, I think it was the Liverpool Man United game that happened I think it was the Liverpool Man United game. I think it was Liverpool Man United game, because apparently Michael Oliver did something mad in that game, and he got a lot of hate in it. So actually had nothing to do with us. And then on top of all of that, yeah, a few things. I'm now sitting here thinking, can we actually be charged for that behavior with the decision being overturned? Maybe, because we still technically is still improper.
I think we can challenge it.
Yeah, but technically it's still, but there's no point even challenge. Just pay it, man. It's probably like what, £40,000. What's £40,000 to Arsenal? Do you know what I mean? And then the other thing is like, when does it like when you're tweeting? So there's a difference. So you see what happened with Havertz and his missus, where people were actually like DMing her and like sending her DMs, like, and talking all the bad stuff that they spoke. There's a big difference between that and somebody just writing a tweet, like just out there in the open, because he doesn't have social media. Like Michael Oliver doesn't have social media. He doesn't have social media presence. He probably didn't even know that people were talking about him online. So I feel like for the
They're using it as a PR. Sorry, they're using it as a PR move, and they are trying to protect the referees. And another thing that I have an issue with, bro, is the referees in general in the UK. How is it that the United Kingdom is such a large country with so much people, and so many people live in this part of the country, but there's not many referees from this part of the country? They're all up here.
Well, so it could be.
If I'm not mistaken, the FA's headquarters is in London.
It may just be that it may just be that nobody wants to be a ref,
or it could just be that they like to have a lot of refs from similar background, similar area, so they have a general understanding.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, so do you know why? I don't?
Good old boys club.
No, but do you know why I don't? The reason why I don't agree with that, yeah, is because a lot of the refs come from Liverpool and Manchester. Yeah, Scouse and Mancunians hate each other. Absolutely hate each other. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. Then where's obviously I don't. So wait. So you got Michael Oliver all the way up the top, Newcastle by himself. Like, Newcastle don't like Man United at all. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's not just against London clubs that these refs don't like each other. Like, even if you go the way down to Bristol, like I'm pretty sure Bristol have some sort of beef with a Brum club, like a West Brom or a Aston Villa or a Birmingham. So do you know what I mean? Like, and then on top of that, like, you can live in Manchester and not support a Manchester club. There's also that. Like, you can, you know what I mean? Like, whereas it's a bit different with Michael Oliver, because we know he supports Newcastle. That's where it gets a bit technical.
Let's get to the super chat, and let's just dead the talk about referees for a second. This club ain't signing nobody. You being deluded. Now, I don't know about this guy, but I would hope that they would sign somebody. But at this moment in time, he might be right, bro. What are you saying?
No, we're gonna sign someone.
What?
We're definitely signing someone.
We're definitely signing somebody.
I think we're signing Watkins.
Really?
Yeah, I think we're gonna sign Watkins. I think we're gonna sign. Well, who I think is most realistic to come to our club in January is Watkins, Tel, and that Nypan brother.
Okay, let's talk about Tel quickly. Let me just talk about Tel quickly. Now, did you hear what's going on with Tel? Apparently, he's going to Tottenham.
He's not going to Tottenham.
That's what it seems like right now. So just to talk about Tel secured £60 million deal from Tottenham are in the process of securing a £60 million deal for Tel to join their club. Now, the player is still waiting to see if Manchester United or Arsenal make a move for him, as he would obviously prefer to go to either of those two clubs. But at this moment in time, Tottenham are prepared to invest in Tel on a permanent transfer. As reported yesterday, Spurs informed Bayern that they're ready to pay 60 million fee. As L'Equipe reported, Tel and his agent and their time are making time to make their decision, with several clubs keen. Then there's another one here saying Tottenham and Tel permanent deal, more to follow. You have another one here, Bayern and Tottenham agreed the 60 million euro deal. Chelsea target and Spurs are close to agreeing a deal. He's basically told Chelsea to run up. He told Chelsea and Aston Villa specifically to run up. He wants to move to Arsenal or Manchester United. He's waiting to see if somebody else joins. But at this moment in time, everything is saying that Tottenham are leading the race for Tel and waiting to see if Manchester United make a move in the coming days. Anything else? Reports that Manchester United are aiming to sell Garnacho to try to bring in Tel on loan before the end of the transfer window. I don't see anything about Arsenal here. Arsenal are pulling out all the stops to make a deal for Mathys Tel, but face a major Premier League competition from the likes of Manchester United and Chelsea. This was 2 hours ago. So that makes me believe we're still in it. But the main thing is, it seems like Tottenham are ready to pay the money. Nobody else really is ready to pay the money right now, but it seems like the player and his agent are waiting to see if Manchester United or Arsenal come in, as they might not want to go to Tottenham as their first choice.
He doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go Tottenham, man. Why the hell is he leaving Bayern to go to 15th place Tottenham? Like, I know he wants to play more football, but he ain't doing that, man. Like,
Big up African Gunner, man.
He ain't doing that, man. He's probably waiting, to see. He'll probably wait all the way up until the last moments on deadline day to see if Arsenal, Manchester United, Aston Villa, just another club that plays Champions League football, comes in for him. I wouldn't even rule out like another European team go in for him, because apparently Bayern are willing to do any type of deal. They're willing to do a loan as well. So if he goes to Tottenham, cool. Kudos to Tottenham. Big up. You managed to pull off the deal, whatever. But it would be horrible for his career.
You know what? This is even a good comment. 60 million euros for Tel is a huge commitment. I don't feel about when Spurs probably need to invest quite heavily in different areas, like mainly the defense. It might be a mismanagement of funds from them, really.
Potentially.
But yeah, talk to me, African Gunner. How you feeling? What do you think about this whole situation? Tel looking like Manchester United's in for him. Spurs currently leading the race. Arsenal
situation, our entire transfer window, and how we've left it to the last minute yet again about a specific player, or just generally how it's been in the past 24 hours, which has been just crazy.
Take it whichever way you want to take it, man.
Yeah, man, sure. Okay, firstly on the transfer window as a whole, I think before this window opened, we all knew we needed a striker and attacker. Obviously, we needed this in the summer, and we didn't get it. So, the expectation was that at some point in the winter window, we would actually get something in. Obviously, we've had all the injuries that we've had. So the expectation even became higher that we would make a big move, and we would make a proactive move in the first week of the window, considering all the injuries that we had. That didn't pan out. We've been very slow. I don't know who our targets have been. Obviously, we went for Sesko. Gyökeres seems like someone that we're not interested in, even though I think he'd be a great player for us and he'd transform our team. From the latest that I've seen, I think Ornstein mentioned that Arsenal are not interested in Gyökeres, and Gyökeres is also not interested in Arsenal. We're not very high up on his list. And obviously, we know the links with Isaac in the summer, 100+ mil. So he's our primary target, and we want to wait. Lots of just rumors all around the place. And then obviously yesterday, we saw the bid for Ollie Watkins reported 60 million, which I think is just ridiculous, especially as a first bid. But then obviously today we found out that that's not true, and it was actually 40 million, but they want 60 million.
We're gonna talk about that in a second, bro. Just give it a second.
Okay. And then obviously on the Mathys Tel stuff, personally, guys, I don't know why we're talking about it. I don't see it happening for Arsenal at all. There's too many clubs in for him. It's not gonna be guaranteed game time for us, which is what he's looking for. He doesn't want to be a bench warmer, and that's why Spurs are coming up as one of the top runners. And as you mentioned, they are willing to buy him on a permanent deal, which is why they're leading the race. Personally, for me, I think it's a moot point. I wouldn't even be talking about it because I don't see it happening at all. If you look at Egal, you went through all those tweets, right? If you see Arsenal's not even mentioned in many of those tweets. Other clubs like United, Spurs are being mentioned, Chelsea are being mentioned, but Arsenal are not being mentioned. And the latest that I've seen from Fabrizio was that Arsenal are considering it, but we're not in active negotiations. So that means that we're not clearly serious enough, and we have other priorities at the moment. And then lastly, the Nypan deal, which, from what I hear, Odegaard called him and his family a few days ago. So, his father said that they've made a decision and they're kind of milking it at this point. I don't know why they haven't announced anything. But yeah, I think that's the one that we're going to get probably out of all of this.
All right. Let's quickly talk about, you know what? We're going to put the Nypan deal on pause as I don't think there's much to talk about that. We'll speak about that when we get a chance to. We'll get on to Ollie Watkins in a second because I think you really do believe we're going to get him, don't you, Northside? Not North. Why did I say Northside? My apologies. Halfway hooks, halftime hooks. What do you call it? Brother, tell me, forget about all the other transfers. Would you guys sell Martinelli? Because this guy in the comment sections really got saying, let's sell him. And they're talking about if a Saudi club come in with over 100 million is expected
in a heartbeat. What?
If someone offers 90 million euros, which is like 70 million pounds, would you take it?
Immediately. What? But I'd pack
Bro,
this
I'm
back.
biased. Martinelli is one of my favorite players. I'm always going to say no unless it's over 100 million plus. I mean, the cost to replace him is just ridiculous. It's actually ironic because, obviously I made that tweet. And when I saw it, I was just like, wow, like I couldn't believe it. And then we saw the Mitoma stuff for 90 million. So there obviously, there's money out there to be spent. Personally, I hear it. Look, Martinelli hasn't had the best of seasons in the last 2 years. But I think his confidence has been shut down. He doesn't get a lot of help. There's a lot of excuses for him.
Does it cost us more than 70 million to replace Martinelli?
Yeah, it's gonna cost us more than 70 million, man. Like it's gonna cost. Who are you gonna go and get to replace Martinelli right now? That's gonna be producing 10 goals already in the Premier League. Understand the system. Be a hard.
10 goals where?
Sorry.
10 goals in the Premier League where?
Bro, how many goals has he scored in the goals and assists has he scored in the Premier League so far?
But you said 10 goals.
I meant GA.
But 10, do you think 10 GA?
No, but at the same time, what else do we have in attack going for us right now? So
Yeah, but like
I know. It's a tough one. As I said, I'm biased. I'm biased. I said it first.
Man, get him gone. What? Do you know what? Yeah, how much did we sign him for?
4 mil or 2 mil less.
If we even got 40 million, that's 10x on what we paid for.
You would sell him.
No,
it's just
it doesn't matter. He's gonna be worth 100 million when he's gonna be worth 75, 80 million one day.
Get gone, bro. Do you know what? Yeah, as a footballer, as a pure footballer, Mathys Tel is better than them. As pure footballer,
I wouldn't agree.
Wingers, yeah, that are better than Martinelli as pure football. He is not Brazilian. He doesn't have it in his locker. The thing with Martinelli, yeah, is people are allowing that one season that he had at Arsenal.
One season, dude. What about the first season when he came in? Even that season, he was decent. He was scoring goals for us when we were shit.
Yeah, he had a few moments. He had a few moments that was cold, but that one season where he got all that GA, people are letting that cloud their judgment in it. Like, you see me bun this player FC thing in it. Like, honestly, bun it. Like, everybody has players that they like. I have players that I like, yeah. But we can upgrade on Martinelli.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
easily, that is crazy.
Yeah, so see, on that part I agree. I've accepted now that we can upgrade on him, but I still don't think it's the right time to sell him. For me personally, I would wait another whole season. So yes, in the summer I want an upgrade and I want him to be the bench player or a squad player. And if nothing changes and he doesn't improve and the competition doesn't spark that fire in him, or there's not a massive change, then I would consider to sell him in January or in the summer next season. But I just don't think it's the right time now to be selling him when we're so short, and when I think he still brings something to the team, in my opinion. You know, the Martinelli that we see now is not the same as the Martinelli that we saw in the last 2 seasons, right? I mean, he's definitely not as confident. He's not as direct on goal. His decision
Personally, I don't think we should be getting rid of Martinelli. I think we should be getting rid of Jesus, Trossard, and be getting better to challenge Martinelli, to get better out of him, because I expect Martinelli to get back to his levels of getting 10, 15 plus goals a season. This season he's quietly having a decent season, actually. As much as our attack has not been firing, Martinelli's already reached, if I'm not mistaken, his total for last season in the Premier League.
Yeah,
he has 6 goals already.
But he was bad last season, so it's not really the best.
And last season, the whole season, he had 6 goals, 4 assists. So he's 2 assists off his total from last season. This season, he's gonna have double-digit goals no matter what. And if guys like Garnacho are going for what is it, £60 million?
Yeah, that's a really good.
Easily way better than that guy.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, there's nothing to say after you said that. There's nothing anybody can say. If Garnacho is going
years old, bro,
for that, then Martinelli has to be more.
I think Martinelli in today's market, if this Tel kid who's very unproven is going for 60 million euros, and you have Matoma going for 90, at least he's 100 million.
I would say around the 85 to 100 million is what he's worth. Obviously, because it's from Saudi Arabia, like, they have money. It's late in the window. It closes tomorrow. Like, because of all those circumstances, that's why I would.
Also, if they came in tomorrow with an offer of 100 million euros for Martinelli, I think Arsenal reject it.
I think so too.
Do you know what? Yeah, this is why a lot of fans out there in the world think that Arsenal fans are joke man. Because
we think Martinelli is worth 75 to 100 million, but we just gave you an example that Garnacho is going for 60. So you're saying Garnacho is better than Martinelli? Just like how a lot of Arsenal fans thought that Eddie Nketiah's 50 million. Nah, dude, I never thought Eddie Nketiah was worth anything.
Martinelli, 100 million. Yo, if there is any stupid man in the world that wants to give us 100 million for Martinelli, you gotta bite their hand off.
That's what Saudi money is all about, bro.
You gotta bite their hand off immediately. Come on, please. Think of
of course.
I don't know how long you've been watching football for, bro. I don't real respect. I don't know who you are. I don't know how old you are and all of that.
Of course, man. I told you, man. It's a little bit biased, obviously, because my heart is there. But of course, if 100 million came, you have to consider it. If you can replace him with something better, then sure. But if you can't replace him, then no, bro. It doesn't make sense. Like what are we gonna do?
Like, you do realize, like, people like Ronaldinho didn't even get sold for 100 million.
Yeah, but bro, you can't be comparing like freaking 10, 15 years ago to now, man. It's completely different. And we're also talking about Premier League.
What's the level of footballer? Do you know what I mean?
No, level of footballer, of course, bro. Ronaldinho, Neymar, like, they're not on. He's not on that level.
And in my opinion, I don't think Garnacho is better overall than Martinelli, but then I also feel like it's kind of weird to judge Garnacho at Manchester United when Manchester United just in general have been on the decline.
Okay, can I stop you right there? Sorry, I don't like to interrupt. But on that point, bro, isn't it the same thing about Martinelli in this attack that it's not a free-flowing attack? Like, I would say it's the same thing. It's not fair to be comparing and criticizing Martinelli in an attack like it's so bad.
No, because Martinelli's problem is his decision-making. Like, it has nothing to do with the decline in the attack or anything. It's what he does and what he decides to do in the final third, that is the problem.
Wait.
Well,
I
guys,
still got one more point.
We're gonna leave it to the comment section. Let me know, guys.
Wait,
if
I have one
right
more point that I need to say. Remember when we put Aubameyang on that left wing and he hated it and he wasn't the same player that he was? I feel like it's similar with Martinelli. We've become so robotic. We've killed that inner kid in him, and it's been gone for so long that I think people forget about the talent that this kid is. And I promise you, if Martinelli moved to another club and he became successful, Arsenal fans would cry.
Fair.
Oh shit! Are you the African winner?
Yeah.
Oh shit! You follow me on Twitter. You're a famous brother, 61K. I hear it. Hey, big up, man. Big up, man. Big up.
Yeah,
Man.
Yeah.
that's
So
why I was
when you have that much knowledge about every single player of Arsenal, trust me, I know what I'm saying. But I told you as well from the get-go, I'm biased on this one.
All right, let's go to the next tweet. Next tweet is about this brother right here, and some of you guys believe it's gonna happen. Some of you guys believe it's not gonna happen. But the main thing is Aston Villa are unwilling to sell Watkins and Duran in the same window, and Duran is close right now to joining Al Nassr. Arsenal are unlikely to explore other options this month. So let's talk about it, because I think Hooks, you believe this is going to happen. You believe it's actually going to happen. So talk me through it. What makes you think it's going to happen? How much do you think he's going to go for? And some people questioning the fact that we're signing a 29-year-old. I don't think that's a problem, but some people are saying that. Overall, give us your take on the whole situation.
Actually, wait, so let me be clear, yeah. Like, obviously, I'm not the oracle in it. I can't see into the future, so I don't know if it's 100% going to happen. But I do think that it's probable. I know that on the Watkins camp side, they really want the move. So because they really want the move, it's more about, can Arsenal offer an amount of money that triggers Villa into going, okay, cool, we have to accept this. Because we have to remember as well, yeah, it's not just about Villa losing their striker. They've also got to think about, they have PSR issues. So if a good amount of money that comes in for Ollie Watkins, they're going to accept it. And people forget, they just got like £68 million cash from Saudi. So if you add on, let's say 60 M's from Arsenal, they've got around about 128 million to work with to go and replace him. Yeah. So I think, it is still definitely doable. Like, I'm not part of the camp that are like tapping out already just because John Duran's gone to Saudi. Like, but we'll see what happens. Now, in terms of like his age, I'm an old man, and I've seen this story before, yeah. And I would welcome Ian Watkins, yeah, over to Arsenal, because I saw another 28, 29-year-old join Arsenal from a lesser team, and then went on to become Arsenal's, well, obviously until Henry broke it, Arsenal's all-time goal scorer. So I'm not really about the hating on him because of his age. Not about that. I think he would give us what we need in terms of a different option. He plays completely different to what we're used to at Arsenal at the moment. So maybe that's a sign that Arteta is thinking about playing in a different way. And let's be real, he's going to score a lot more goals than anyone else at our club. So for me, it's all the boxes are ticked. But we just have to wait and see, will Arsenal pay the money that Aston Villa want to make it happen? Because as soon as Arsenal hit a number that Aston Villa like, but he will be hit immediately. He's a boyhood Arsenal fan. He's seeing it. This is my chance to play for my club. He's not gonna. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe deadline day he might hand in a transfer request. I wouldn't be surprised, because this chance won't come along again. Because in the summer, Arsenal just go buy someone else. So
for the players' camp, he definitely wants to move. Unai Emery said he does not want him to go anywhere.
Of course he's going to say that. What do you expect him to say?
The manager said that the club do not want to sell both, PSR or not. They don't want to sell both. Arsenal also came with a very disrespectful offer to start off.
No, why is it disrespectful, man? What do you mean? Like, if I'm a business, I'm gonna try to get the best deal possible. Like if I have to lowball and get it rejected and then come back for another offer, that's gonna be my play. Like why would I try? I don't think it's. I get it. I know it's
You know what?
disrespectful.
Before we even go there, African Gunner, the question is: do you believe Arsenal can get the Ollie Watkins deal over the line? Because in my opinion, if we really wanted Ollie Watkins, we should have bid for him earlier in the window. We should have notified his club and his agency that we wanted him from the beginning of the window, gotten it sorted out, tried to get him into the club, and that would have been a lot better. But I think we
how
bid.
do you know that we didn't?
Because it shows that they said that they were surprised by the timing of our bid. David Onstein reported that we bid on Monday.
Yeah.
David Onstein reported
we bid on Monday. But how do you not know that Arsenal was talking?
Of course, dude. We've wanted Watkins for more than just this transfer window.
We've wanted Watkins for a long time, but we've never voiced our opinions this window until Monday. Monday was the first official report.
But you don't know that.
Yeah,
what we know is what's been reported. And what's been reported from David Onstein and others is that we stepped up our efforts once the RAN links to Saudi happened.
Exactly. No.
Now, if we were to have stepped up our efforts from the beginning of the season, from the beginning of the window, I mean, we could have maybe been further along in this deal, further along in the negotiation, and maybe they would have given them more time to get a replacement in, so we wouldn't be in a situation where they're scrambling, we're scrambling, and we spoke about Sesko, we spoke about Cunha, we never spoke about Watkins until now, bro.
Well, this is what I mean. The club didn't speak about these targets. It was reported by other people. What I'm trying to say is, for example, Arsenal may not have known until Monday that Aston Villa had any intention of selling anybody.
No, it doesn't matter, bro. That's excuses. I'm sorry. We're a big club.
No, man, it's not an excuse. I hear it. I hear it. Everybody wants to believe what they read in the media and all them things there. But I'm telling you that.
Bro, my point is like test the waters. You know what I mean? Even if he isn't for sale, like what is stopping us from just putting that 40 million bid like 2 weeks ago and having it rejected? And we're appalled that like we could have done this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, just to test the waters, right? And then if it panned out this way, people wouldn't be feeling the same way.
This is a non-issue. This is a non-issue. It doesn't even make sense. It's like people complain, Arsenal better sign someone before the end of the window, and then Arsenal bid for Ollie Watkins. You should have bid 2 weeks earlier. Like, Arsenal can't win. I don't understand. Like, why does it matter when Arsenal? It's a transfer window.
It matters, you know why? Because we could have used him against games. He scored against us. We needed him in the League Cup where he's not cup tied. He would have changed that game against Newcastle.
So about any transfer in the world.
Yeah, but that's my point. My point is we could have done this earlier. Personally, for me, look, I agree with you. By the way, it sounds like a very Arsenal signing, and I wouldn't be surprised if somehow we get this over the line and they end up signing Mathys Tel or somebody. Like I do see that that's how this might play out, and we'll get him. And in the last 24 hours, when I first got the news, I was really disappointed, and I was like, no, like nah, blah 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 blah. But like I've been able to digest it a little bit, and like I could see and I understand why we've done this, and he fits our mold, and he's kind of like the ready-made player that we want, and that I've been asking for. It's just not the flashy new signing that I wanted, so which is why I think a lot of Arsenal fans are reacting the way they did, especially considering the fact that we know there are better strikers out there like Osimhen, like Gyökeres, like Sesko, that are going around the same price. And look, hey, people will come back and say those guys are not available. We tried; they were our first options. Blah blah blah. And that might be true and that might be the case. But fans are always going to react this way because we didn't put in bids for any of that. We don't fans don't think we've been serious enough, going after those targets. And then our first real major bid and our first real piece of transfer news this whole window comes on the 29th day when we find out that we placed a bid for Ollie Watkins.
From the day that Jesus got injured, we should have made a bid.
Exactly. Even if it was the 40 million, we should have submitted it on the first few days of the window. Even if it got rejected outright with laughing stock, blah, 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 like it would have showed intent. And at least we would have known, okay, this guy's on our list. We can come back at the end if we don't figure out, whatever their plans. Because the other thing I think, and I don't think a lot of people talk about, is you can agree and you can get a bid accepted. It doesn't mean you actually have to go and get the player. What if we, put the 60 million, but said, hey, we're also looking at other options and we're going to make a decision at the end or whatever. I don't know. It might look bad on the player. The player might not think his first choice. Maybe, but I still think there's other ways of going about it instead of the way that we've gone about it.
I think a lot of people don't believe that this move from Arsenal
That they think it's a
Yeah,
PR that they know.
was
I
genuine.
know because of
Wait,
the
the bid went
timing.
on Monday, right? So you said the bid
Because
went
of the
on-
timing, some people believe it's like Arsenal are
PR
just trying to do a last-ditch effort.
to say that we tried.
It's not genuine.
But you said the bid went in on Monday, right?
Yeah.
So you do wait, so but
The
I
Monday's,
swear but I
Monday's still too late, no?
wait,
Like
what day
even if it's 2 days
what-
before, it's
wait, what day
27th.
what day is it today?
Today's the 30th, so that was the 27th.
Today's Thursday.
So correct me if I'm wrong, hasn't Josh only just been in the UK?
No, he's been in
man,
the
what is
UK
that
since the
nonsense?
North London
Why does
Derby.
he need to be in the UK?
Bro, one
to
second.
do this?
He's been in the UK since the North London Derby, bro.
No, he hasn't. That's a lie. He didn't. He did not come when we played at North. He was supposed to. He did not come. He only came for the Champions League game.
So that means that
No, the
within-
Crockies were in the building for the North London Derby, bro.
No, they were not. Show me any picture. You're talking to someone who spends 24/7, researching this stuff. Trust me, he wasn't. I would have had pictures of him, just like I broke the
so
pictures
you're
of
telling
him
me 4 days
when he was in the
after,
Champions League.
so technically 3 days because they're not going to talk.
They never had the emergency meeting.
That was in December. They had that in December. So Arteta went to the US before Christmas to speak to the Kroenkes about transfer business, etc. And then Josh Kroenke came in the Champions League game, but the previous one. I think it was a week ago. He came to watch the game and then he left. That's it. He wasn't at the North London Derby.
So by the way, in the meeting that they had in December,
Yeah,
it was decided that in January we weren't going to make any signings.
yeah.
At least
Yeah.
what it reported. And
Yeah.
then Josh Kroenke came over to the Champions League game last week, and then within 3 to 4 days of him coming here, we
Everything
make a bid.
changed.
So clearly we couldn't have bid earlier in the window.
You're making assumptions, just like you were asking us. How do we know? How do we know? How do we know this?
But they're educated assumptions.
I hear it. I can see where the logic pieces together. But personally, for me, man, I don't think it matters whether Josh Kroenke is here or not to be doing this type of moves or making these types of bid. If that's the case, then we have a different problem entirely than freaking just placing a bid for Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, I agree. We don't do transfers well. I agree. We have problems with our owners. 100%. They don't do what they need to do. But all I know is Josh Kroenke came last week, and then in less than a week, we made a bid for a striker.
Yeah, the other point I can say is that like a week went by, but time is reducing. So maybe that's also one of the logical reasons why the bid came now. Maybe there's no correlation with Josh Kroenke coming, but I do hear your point, bro. Like I definitely there's some logic to that as well. So I hear it.
I hear it, but yeah, I need to.
All right. No worries, bro. Have yourself a wonderful day. Before you go, bro, what do you think about the City game?
We win. I think Arsenal going to win that game. Like at home, I think we'll win. It'll be better if we can get a signing in before then. That would be great. But I don't know how likely that is. But I think at home, we can definitely beat Man City. I think the fact that we was able to rotate midweek, they wasn't. I think that's another good thing as well. They probably got less time to prepare for the game. There's also that as well. So yeah, I'm confident that we can get the win at the Emirates, but I need to put more thought into the game. So maybe my opinion changes close to the time, but as it stands right now, I would say probably a narrow victory, like a 1-0, 2-1, something like that.
Does the referees for the game affect you?
Guess we gonna find out.
Because the referees for that game, if I'm not mistaken, is Stuart Atwell on the VAR, and Liverpool fan or Liverpool native who was born and raised in Liverpool is going to be the actual referee for the game, Peter Banks.
But he doesn't like if he is a Liverpool fan, he doesn't like Man City as well. So is what it is, man. We can't control the refs. All we can do is control what we do on the day, put our chances away. And yeah, hopefully we can get it done. But yeah, I'll catch you, man, in a bit. Blessings.
Have a good one. All right, what you saying, African Gooner? Talk to me. Tell me about the game. What do you think is going to happen in the Man City game?
Man City game, dude. I don't even want to talk about the Man City game. I think what's happened today is not good for us. Like it adds so much pressure on this weekend, man. So much pressure. Like it's gonna be intense. Like there's gonna be fight. I think there's gonna be fights. I think there's gonna be a red card. I just get that feeling right now. It's gonna be like it's just gonna be a brawl. It's gonna be a straight out brawl because of what Haaland's done, because of what the FA has done, now charging us for reacting the way we did for the wrong call, which they agreed is the wrong call. So yeah, that look, we don't score a lot of open goals against Man City. We always sit back and we try to get a goal and then we try to hold on and win 1-0. And that's always how it's going to be against Man City, because when two big, titans are fighting each other, like they don't want to knock out each other. Like it's like, you know what I mean? They don't want to knock each other out. It's like they want to play it a little bit safe, like toe around each other and see when there's an opportunity to throw a jab. So that's how it's going to be. It's not going to be a lot of goals. It's going to be a 1-0 or a 1-1 or 2-1, as you said. Like I don't see a lot of goals at all. But yeah, I think we have a chance, man. I think either we take this in our stride and like all of this is like the whole world against us, like mentality, and we just go for it, man. We have nothing to lose. We can't draw or lose this game. Like we have to go for it. So I think the first half is going to be really boring, edgy, and then the second half, if we need to go get the goal, then it'll open up, and then we might score one or two. They might score a goal or two, right, and might just kill the game. The other thing I want to talk about is that usually when you play Man City, bro, we used to get beat, like we used to get embarrassed 3-0 first half. 2-0, 3-4-0 first half, game over, like done and dusted. And I'm really proud of Arsenal that doesn't happen anymore. That we're talking like this about like how we're going to compete against Man City and we're going to take it to the line, and we're looking for 3 points. Before I used to be like, dude, please just don't give me a spanking, please, at least a draw, like we'll take a point. The mentality shift, I think a lot of Arsenal fans forget where we've come from and where we are now.
No, we definitely have come a long way, and people saying African Gunnar is good at analyzation of the game. I'm just gonna say this, bro. Going into the game, after how they said to us, be humble after the game at their ground.
Yeah.
I would expect this game to have a level of fierceness or
Animosity,
like
fierceness,
animosity towards each other.
Yeah.
With Gabriel on the center backs and Erling Haaland, we
Yeah.
need to make sure we keep these guys from scoring a goal to protect our home ground. And our home ground has been a good hunting ground for us in the league,
100%.
in the Champions League. I expect us to do well in this game, and I'm not going to skip my prediction because I'm going to have a preview with Hamza on Saturday, and I got vibes from the 6 tomorrow. So guys, check that out. But yeah, African Gunnar, bro, you got anything else that
dude, there's still some things that I think we can chat about if you don't mind.
Go ahead, tell me, what's the first topic?
One of the first thoughts I have is that on the Man City one, before we move on, I think their tactic is going to be to rile us up. I think Guardiola is going to tell them like, yo, like, niggle, foul them, do stuff to just rile them up and try to get them off our mojo, get us off our mojo. I really think that's going to be one of the tactics going in. So I hope Saliba, Gabriel, whoever it is, we're not like biting into this. We're not falling for the trap, because that will kill the game for us immediately. If we get like an early yellow card and we're put on edge and stuff, we got to really keep our heads and just be professional, don't get into any fights and just play our game. So I wanted to say that on the Man City one. In terms of just other stuff that I wanted to talk about, the Nypan transfer, obviously, I think, look, dude, we need it. We need it. Like, it's getting to that point where, like, dude, it's looking bad. So I'm really hoping he chooses us with the way that, like, it's been spoken about. And, I've also heard some things in the background. Probably looks like he will be the signing, maybe the only signing, on top of if we could get Watkins at the end. I told you the Mathys Tel, no way, we're not getting, forget about him. Don't talk about him anymore. I promise you we're not getting him. Like, it's so obvious we're not going to get him. It's just too many clubs in for him and stuff. And in terms of Nypan, I think he plays that left center 8 role, which I think Marino is just wasn't the right player. We should have gone. He's a good squad player, but it's not the guy we needed to get. He's not an upgrade on Xhaka, and we need an attacking player. And this kid can shoot. He wants to shoot, and he can shoot better than Odegaard. So I'm excited to see what he could bring to the team if we were to sign him. And then I also just wanted to talk about Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri, man. Wow, wow. Like, these kids are so good, man. Obviously, Nwaneri, just like the way he holds the ball, the fearlessness, the decision making. Like, I said Martinelli is my favorite player, but
how good is this Nippon kid?
Nah, he's good, man. He's good. If you look at him as well, it looks like, you know, his family. If you look at his Instagram, he doesn't post much. I know he's young and stuff, so I think he's very focused on his game. Like, he's not focused on like the flashiness and the whole, like, you know, social media world of football as we know it today, and how players can get sucked into that. So, you know, it looks like he has a good head on his shoulders. And then in terms of his game, obviously, you know, I posted a 9-minute compilation of him, which gives you a decent idea, obviously, of what kind of a player he is. I think definitely potential. When you have clubs like Man City, Aston Villa, all these clubs going in for him, like, there's obviously something there, right? Not only wouldn't have like Erling Haaland have him in his VIP box if this kid was not talented, right? So look, he's not like the finished article. Of course, he's definitely a project, future project player for the next 2-3 years. So yeah, I can't turn that down, man. I mean, 11-12 million, we're not gonna cry about that. It's not like crazy money either. I think it's a good signing if we were to be able to pull it off. And then also, yeah, in terms of the Nwaneri and Lewis-Skelly stuff, like, just bro, wow, like, these guys are so strong for their age. Like, I haven't seen players as strong as them since Saka. Like, they give me that Saka strength vibes, like the way they, you know, just brush off players at their age. I'm really excited. I think Arteta's done really well in managing these two specifically. We've made a lot of mistakes, you know, both selling younger players and Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe, things like that. I mean, we've made a lot of mistakes, but this looks like our gold. This is really our gold. And it's funny because obviously with Saka's injury, that's really given an opportunity for Nwaneri to come in and show us what he's made of. And, you know, that finish that he had yesterday, that's not a fluke. You know, he does that week in, week out since he was a kid. That's why he doesn't even need to look where the goal is because he knows that. And if you pay attention, I'm sure you guys have seen the compilations going around on Twitter. He tried that shot a few minutes before. So like, you can tell that he already knows that that's his trademark. He wants to come in, cut in, bang it top left. He's a good shooter. I didn't realize how good of a shooter he is. He's a good shooter, man, and we need that. We're missing that in our team. We don't have shooters, bro. We, like, as I think as he said, the previous guest, if Watkins comes in, he becomes our best finisher immediately in the team. So that tells you everything you need to know about what we're really missing. You know, Martinelli is up there, but not consistent enough. We mentioned bad decision making. Jesus is not that. Saka's obviously injured. Odegaard is not that. Arteta came out recently and said, look, this guy is always coming in too deep. He doesn't want to be near the box. So he's basically saying he doesn't shoot enough. And I would say Odegaard last season probably, you know, had a really good season in terms of his output on goal, but this season he's been poor, man, poor. Like, I've seen him do 360s in the box. I don't know if people pay attention to that. Like, a freaking player doing a 360 in a box instead of trying to go for the shot. Like, bro, what are you thinking? Like, that's like, you need that instinctiveness of like, when you're in the box, I'm going for the shot anyway, anyhow. If it gets blocked, I don't care. I'm going for it. Like, you know, you make that decision in your mind and you go for it. He doesn't. He's like trying to figure out, can I make the pass? Can I find the through the needle, this through the legs, or whatever, instead of being like, no, dude, I'm gonna hit this top corner. Like, no one's stopping me. You know, if they want to stop me, they're gonna foul me and we're getting a penalty. That's the attitude that I really want from Odegaard. You know, and I had the similar issue with Ozil. Amazing, beautiful, great player, but when it comes to being a killer in front of goal, he wasn't that guy. And when we're talking about complete players like a KDB, that's the extra level that we need. And if Odegaard can unlock that, damn, you know, like, he's already, of course, a great player, great captain, but it just would take us to the next level. So yeah, I would say that on those two players, to be honest. And in terms of just general, like, I think Gabriel has been very underrated this season. Absolutely incredible. Probably Arteta's best buy at 30 million pounds 5 years ago, you know, like 4 years ago. It's just from Lille. Like, I didn't expect. I mean, when he played his first game against Fulham, he scored a header, and you could tell already from there on that he was really good at set pieces. But the way he's evolved now, and the game and the strategy that we play, the tactics of, like, you know, I know like a lot of people don't like talking about this and stuff, and I think it's very in American sports, you know, having a blocker, right? It's like basketball, like you have a shield, like all these things that we're implementing right into our own game. It's absolutely brilliant. You know, and we
Elliot
really
Elliot wants to link up with you, bro.
Oh yeah, man, Elliot. Me and Elliot linked up a few months ago. I haven't seen him since. But we'll definitely link up soon. In terms of the set pieces, bro, just we're kings. We just need to evolve our game to be scoring from outside the box, scoring from long range. You know, this tactic of just crossing in the box for Havertz or Jesus to score a header, like, dude, that's not us. And maybe that's why this Watkins deal might be the one for us, because he's gonna love all those crosses, bro. He's gonna be wanting to get all the, and he's better than Havertz with headers. He's better than any player in our team, apart bar Gabriel, with aerial headers. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. I think, as we said, like we want a striker. We said we were crying for it, and they bid for it, and we were not excited. We're not happy. So it's an interesting one. If we get him, I'm going to support him. Of course, he's an Arsenal fan. I think there could be something good out of it. The only issue is, you know, Sesko, Isaac in the summer. Does that prevent us from going for them if we get him now? If it does, then I don't think it's a smart buy. I think we should have gone for a winger. Barcola, there's so many options. There's so many options out there we could have gone for.
I think I really do believe we're going to wait. I really do believe
to the end to get him.
I think we're going to wait. I don't think we're going to pull the trigger on any deals right now.
Yeah.
It just seems like the logical move for the club right now is to probably just wait it out.
People are not going to be happy. So you know, when you ask me about my assessment of the window, like Arsenal fans wanted a striker, we wanted a winger. We knew this. So if we don't get one, and then we don't go on to win anything this season, yes, Arteta's not going to get fired. But you know what, bro? They're going to lose the fans, and that's the most important thing. And when you lose the fans, and of course you're not going to lose all the fans, there'll be still people that want Arteta that'll back the club, and of course we'll still back the club. But I think a big majority of the fans will lose it. We'll lose it. The riots, everything, like it's going to be back to toxicity at the stadium. It's going to be really, really bad. And I just really hope we don't get there, which is why I see it as such a big risk right now not to get someone, when you know that if we don't actually get anything at the end of the season, like the fans are going to just lose trust. Which we know the script. We can see the script, bro. We've been here. We've done this so many times. This is why I'm not also like overly upset, is because I've experienced this like since I was a kid. Like in the transfer window, I've experienced this so many times. Apart from the Declan Rice window, where I thought we changed. You know, I really believe we changed. I gave them a lot of credit for me, and I haven't been voicing my opinion. So because I've been saying they've done well, and now I'm like, shit, dude, it was all a ploy, like it was a facade.
Let me before we wrap it up, I'm just gonna say to the comment here, I don't do watch alongs because I spend the time watching the games with my family, but I do appreciate everyone who does do watch alongs, and they're quite entertaining, but it's not for me. As for today, I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. Love for the love, people. African Gunner, really do appreciate it. Everyone, yeah, really do appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow for Vibes on the 6 at 8 o'clock. Catch you guys then. Peace.